Hello there and welcome to another video. My name is Isabel and today I'm going to be playing around with markers. If you're new here, I'm usually a watercolor artist, so this was a fun little adventure. I have a bunch of markers from about a year ago, or a year or two ago I guess, when I started getting into art. I got a bunch of markers as Christmas presents and such. Not a bunch of markers compared to a lot of people, but decent amount. And so these are all the markers I have. I have 2 Prismacolor sets. I have a brush set and a chisel set, and then I have a Copic skin tone set. So I wanted to just play around with them, see what I could do. My original plan for this video was to do a real-time video because all of my videos so far have been speed paints and voiceovers, but it was kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. But you know, some people like seeing real-time videos. I know I like watching them while I do art, so if you're interested in seeing the real-time video, let me know in the comments and I will upload it. But if not, that's fine too. I don't really care either way. If you want to see it, just let me know. So when I got seriously into art about like a year ago, I would say June of 2019 was when that's when I started my Instagram, and that's when I started getting really into art. I guess it would have been before that, maybe we'll just say spring of 2019. And I was really into pencil. Well, I guess I suppose before June I had like sketchbooks and stuff that I was playing around in, and that's when I got my markers. So I was mostly doing sketchbook work, and then in June I did this big pencil portrait of Jennifer Damiano, who's a Broadway actress who I absolutely adore. But that really got me into art, and then I was like, oh, I love realism so much. So I got a bunch of markers, and you know, I never really clicked with them, and I wasn't sure why. So I just kind of kept doing pencil, and then I got a little bored of pencil. So then this past January, I got a watercolor set for my birthday, and I fell in love with it, and I haven't looked back. I love how freeing watercolor is. You have complete control over your color, the exact color you want, you can get it, and your brush strokes, and how blended everything is, and hard edges, and I love the textures, but it's also unpredictable at the same time, and you still have to work with your mistakes because you can't go back. But I wanted to try markers again. It's been about a year or so since I picked these up. I have been storing them horizontally, so don't come for me. And I just started with this teeny tiny sketch. I wish I had done it bigger because it ended up I ended up spending quite a bit of time on it, and I really like how it turned out, but it would have been nice if it was bigger so that I could have more detail in it. So I wasn't really sure what colors I wanted to use. Originally I wanted to do like just green tones and more of a monochrome, but then I was looking at the greens that I had, and they were too close together in tone. So I went in with this gray marker to just kind of put some shadows in, and then I took this dark, almost viridian color. It's called Parrot Green. That was good timing. And I put it in the leaf hair, and then I took this apple green color and I started putting it over that to give the leaves a warmer green color. Oh yeah, and with these markers, the cap fits on the end, which is wonderful. Copics don't do that, and I don't like it. So, good job, Prismacolor. Yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised by the dry shift in these markers. I know some people really hate dry shift, but I'm used to it working with watercolor, and I kept putting down the color and just thinking, oh, that's too dark. Oh my goodness, what have I done? I ruined it. So you can hear that if you want to see the real-time video. You can just hear all my dinosaur noises and complaining about the dry shift. But yeah, so I was really happy about the dry shift because it really helped to be able to build up shades and layer like I'm used to with watercolor. So yeah, so for this little one, I was avoiding doing anything with the skin because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then, so I was just kind of playing around with the hair, and I decided to use this yellow, extremely bright yellow color and put in a bright yellow light on the left side. So, yeah, this canary yellow color. And I am really happy that I did this. I love doing like dramatic lighting situations. And by the way, if that's something you want to see a video on or a tutorial on, let me know. But I think that was really fun to draw that, or to put that in there. So, yeah, so I'm really glad I did that because I feel like it added so much to the finished piece, and also helped make the hair be more cohesive with the skin because they didn't end up being the same color. But because they both had the same light, they worked together, which is really why dramatic lighting and just thinking about lighting sources and the color of the light is so important. It's because it anchors you in that environment. So another thing I wanted to talk about today is getting out of your comfort zone with art. Like I've said, you know, watercolor now is my comfort zone. I'm by no means an expert or anything. I just do it because it's fun. But I've only been doing it for a few months. Well, I guess I've been doing it for about 6 months. So I'm not an expert. I still have so much to learn, but it's the medium that I'm probably the most comfortable with, maybe besides pencil. But yeah, oh, by the way, here I decided to fill in the skin with this warm gray, and I'm really happy I did that, even though it looks a little funky at first, but it turns out really nicely. So anyway, watercolor is what I'm comfortable with, but I've been feeling art blocked lately. So I know from past experience that working with a different medium can be helpful to me to get out of that art block because it forces me to focus on something other than the art. So I was kind of looking around and I was like, okay, what do I have to work with here? I don't have like acrylics, I don't have oils, I don't have gouache, although I really do want to try gouache. So hopefully I will have some gouache soon. And then I have like pencils. And then I have these markers. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I haven't used markers in a really long time, but I'm just going to try them out. So I just got them out. I got out my mixed media sketchbook, which I think worked pretty well with the markers. Yeah, I mean, I don't have marker paper or anything, but I think it worked better than when I've tried to use a regular sketchbook with markers because it's more heavy duty, and it's worked well with my watercolors before, so I was hoping that it would work well with the markers too, and it did. But yeah, if you're feeling art blocked, I would say get out of your comfort zone, you know, try something new. And you know, I've done this before with inks. think I've talked about this. I actually have a video on my channel of me experimenting with ink for the first time in dip pens. And that was really helpful to just get me going again. And I'd be like, yeah, you know, I do, like, I love making art. And I just think getting out of your comfort zone is such an important thing to do as an artist, because if you don't, you'll never find, or you might not find, the medium that you thrive in, you know? Like, I thought I was a graphite pencil artist for the longest time. Well, I haven't been doing art that long, but in the time that I've been taking art seriously, I've thought that I was a graphite pencil artist, because that's what I had access to. That's what I've got into art doing. And then I got really into Arlie Bean's videos here on YouTube. She's such a huge inspiration to me, and she's an amazing artist, and she works in watercolor. And then I was like, ooh, maybe I want to play around with color a little bit more. So I found some old colored pencils, which I'm not used to using at all, but I, you know, got those out, and I was like, oh, actually color is super fun. And then one thing that I get frustrated with is not being able to have exactly the right color that I want. And so color pencils, like, you can layer and stuff, but when you have a limited range of colors, it's harder to get the color that you want. So that's why I wanted to try painting. So I got a little Cotman, like 12 color travel set for my birthday in January, and I just fell in love with watercolor. It's so wonderful. But if I had never taken that step and been like, okay, I'm going to try this, and pushed through when it was difficult, I wouldn't have discovered how much I love watercolor. I think it's, you know, like, I want to try more opaque mediums now, like gouache. I really want to try gouache. I will be trying gouache soon, hopefully. But, you know, I did enjoy working with the markers. I mean, it's the same thing with watercolor, where it's like, they don't really have any strong opacity to them. So, like, you can layer, but you can't, like, completely change the color that much. So, you know, I know this isn't completely accurate, but they kind of felt like watercolors, but I could only have a few colors. Because they, you know, like, they do blend and stuff, but you're pretty limited on what you have, color-wise. And, like, you can blend. By the way, these blend so well. Like, I was really enjoying blending with these and layering. They worked so well. And, like, at first I was, like, a bit concerned, because when I put down that gray blue color, it was so dark, but then it lightened up. But yeah, like, the blending, amazing, especially, like, in that yellow highlighty areas. I feel like it turned out really nicely. And then also, like, on the darker side of the face, I think I love it. So, I mean, I definitely want to explore markers more. I think that'd be fun to explore a little more. But I was kind of feeling like, well, they're pretty similar to watercolors. So, I don't know. I think watercolors are still my main medium, and I do love them. So, it's possible that I'll find something else that I love more. But I don't think watercolors are ever going to leave. But don't get me wrong, they're still super freaking hard to use. Like, ugh. I get frustrated with having to plan out the piece so much. Because once you, like, go in super dark with watercolor, you can't go back, which has made me very frustrated in the past. Yeah, so anyway, I finished that first little sketch. The original plan that I had was to do a tiny little sketch just to warm up, and then do like maybe another little sketch, and then fill up the bottom of the page with something bigger. And I was thinking like, okay, maybe I'll like explore the same character or something. But then I spent way too much time on that first little sketch, and I really, really wish I had done it bigger, because I love how it turned out. But maybe that's just the nature of thumbnails, is that because they're so small you can never, you know, your mind makes up all of the details that you can't actually achieve at a larger scale. Yeah, so anyway, then I just started drawing my hand, because I need to get better at drawing from life. I love drawing hands, but it's hard to draw them from life. So yeah, so I started drawing it. The angle that you're seeing of my hand and the angle that I was looking at are slightly different, because I was sitting, you know, back in my chair. So I'm drawing the angle that I'm seeing. So if it looks a little different, that's why. But also, obviously, it's not a perfect match. And then once I finished like the sketch and stuff, I did end up putting my hand down, because I needed it to hold markers and such, and it's hard to use markers and also like hold the paper down and keep it from moving, and when you're only using one hand. So yeah, so it's not like fully from life. I made up a lot of the lighting and stuff. But you know, like looking back at this footage, actually, I'm noticing that the shadows on my hand are very purple, and I kind of wish that I had remembered that when I was coloring it in and incorporated that, because I feel like a big part of what makes art realistic is having accurate colors, and when you shadow colors are not just a darker version of the skin tone, but I kind of made it that in this piece, because I'm not used to using normal skin tones. But I had used the Prismacolor markers mainly for the first sketch, so I wanted to use the little Copic skin tone pack that I have for the second sketch. And then I did, yeah, Copic's, the cap doesn't fit on the end, which is unfortunate. But I did end up drawing more on this page, but I didn't film it because the video is really long. At this point, it's like I think it's like a 28 minute video. So if you've stuck with me this far, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed my rambling and playing with markers. And I mean, if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. Like, really, what are you waiting for? Love to see you again. But what was I talking about before I started doing self-promo? Oh yeah, the video was getting really long, so I stopped filming, and I'm glad I did, because it is a different experience doing art while filming. Yeah, I don't know, it's just like, because I'm filming on my phone, so I can't really like play music or watch a video or anything, and it feels much more high stakes. I don't know, I'll get used to it. But anyway, I'm glad I stopped too, because it was, yeah, the drawings that I did after I stopped filming sorry, I'm really tired. The drawings I did after I stopped filming were not as good, and I wasn't happy with them. But I don't know, I feel like, I don't know why that first drawing is just like my favorite drawing, but it is, and then I like just couldn't top that. But I was really enjoying blending with the Copic markers. That was fun, because they blend so nicely. yeah, I'm not really sure what else to talk about. Oh, I know. I guess I was, I don't know if you saw when I like started with like a base and then I started coloring in the tips of the fingertips with like a pinkier color because I like it because it makes everyone look cold and I'm a cold person, so I enjoy having my art reflect that. I don't know. I I think it looks good, so it adds a little bit of life to have that pink color there. Also, why am I always drawing hands on this channel? Like I literally, I think the past like 3 videos out of the, what, 4 or 5 that I've posted so far have had hands in them. Oops, I promise I draw more than just hands. But I do love drawing hands. Actually, Jess Carp on YouTube, I will put her links in the description, just did a 100 hands challenge. And she did it in 3 days because she's insane. And she did it all from life mostly, which is very cool. So I don't know, maybe I should do that. Let me know what you think. I think it'd be fun. Although I still have yet to do the 100 heads challenge, so maybe I should do that one first. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so I was just drawing this hand and just slowly building up the layers and the blending and all of that. I think I used like, I think I did end up using most of the colors, but I was originally using just like the lightest and the second lightest color for shading, and then I was like, okay, I need to go in with something a little darker, so I went in with like I think that first skin tone color that you see there up at the top, because it's like a it's a much darker color, and then I was like, oh boy, that's way too dark, but it turned out fine. Well, I hope you enjoyed this very long video. Stick around if you feel like it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Bye!